All right, Zack Kreggers Weapons. The director of Barbarian comes back with another psychological thriller horror film, and in this film, there are a lot of ups, downs, twists, turns, and just crazy fucking shit, just like Barbarian. So the story in this movie is takes place in this town where 17 kids end up disappearing at the same time at 2:17 a.m. in the morning one night, and we're kind of following the aftermath because the crime was never solved. There was never any bodies found, never any tips or clues pointing them in the right direction. So this is still an ongoing investigation, but you're dealing with the aftermath in terms of how the town is dealing with the loss of their children, how they're pointing fingers and pointing and kind of assigning the blame to Julia Garner's character, the teacher Justine, because it's very suspicious, right? Only her class, only the students in her class disappeared, and not anyone else. Everyone else in the school was fine. So you're kind of wrapping your head around it, like, okay, what the hell is going on? Who's responsible for this? And why? Why were they taken? Like, there's just so many questions that you have throughout this film. And you're going to keep asking questions every single time they give you one nugget of information, and you have another question. They give you the next nugget and you're like, okay, well, what does this mean? And they give you that nugget, and it all eventually leads up to this crescendo moment where it is revealed as to what is actually going on in the movie. And when I tell you that my whole theater just, there was an audible gasp from everybody in the theater, because it is very unpredictable. It is not something that you would be able to predict, I do not believe. Based on the information they give you early on, you're not going to be able to predict it. They show you hints, and kind of, if you've got a really good keen eye for things, then you could necessarily piece it together. But in terms of the why, you're not going to get that, and that's mostly because I believe the film doesn't really give you a why. A lot of it is just implied as to why this stuff is going on, and all that. But it works. It works with the film. It's something that you can easily, like, all right, we've got A and B, put them together. All right, C makes sense in my mind. C is the most rational reason as to why all this stuff is going on. And you'll see that in the film. And I'm being vague for a reason, because this movie deserves your vagueness. It deserves your ignorance. You shouldn't go into this movie knowing a goddamn thing besides the name of the title of the movie, and that's it. I feel you got to go in blind. They did a really good job in the trailers to keep it vague as well. They don't show shit in the trailers. The trailers probably focuses on, like, very, very early parts of the movie. So there's a lot of scenes in there that they don't show, things that could be spoilery. They do not put in the trailer. So bravo on that. Back to doing that. We need that in most trailers, because I feel like today you get the whole movie in the trailer. You get the beginning, middle, and the end in a trailer, and it's just like, there's no point of me going to the movie, because I know exactly where we're gonna end up. This one, I had no clue, bro. No clue. You're sitting there in the theater thinking, okay, is this a monster movie? Is this like, It? Or are we dealing with like a Pennywise character? Is this a serial killer movie? Are we dealing with like a Zodiac killer or Longlegs or something like that? Is this a fucking a demonic ghost possession kind of deal? Like, what the fuck are we actually dealing with here? And when you find out what you're dealing with, I was like, holy shit, bro. I would have never predicted that. Never, 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 never. And that's the beauty of Zack Kreger's films. Barbarian is the same. Barbarian is the same in terms of, like, you're not going to be able to predict Barbarian. You're not. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Just by watching the first couple minutes, you are not going to predict Barbarian, and you're not going to predict this movie at all. And once the crescendo hits, like I said, audible gasp, and then from there, they just kept building upon it. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Shit is dark. Shit is just dreadful. It is creepy, suspenseful. I wouldn't say it's like scary. there's nothing really scary here, just a lot of creepy stuff. And I feel like for me that works more. Like I can't remember the last time I got scared, like genuinely scared. There is some gratuitous violence, there is some gory stuff that you can kind of hang on to, but it's not gore just for gore's sake. It's important. It's important to what's going on in the story. Um, it's supplemental, and I feel like it just works. But this movie was firing on all cylinders. The acting, all the actors came and crushed their roles. Julia Garner as the teacher was great. I feel like they could have given her a little more emotional stuff. They could have written that in the script. Not a lot of emotional struggle there. She is dealing with the struggles of the town, kind of just necessarily. They're all necessarily against her, basically, um, and she's dealing with the struggles of that, and dealing with her alcoholism and stuff like that, and that's how she kind of copes with it. But the town is very much against her, blames her for the disappearance of all the kids, and you can just feel the frustration from all the parents, especially Josh Brolin's character Archer, who's kind of like a general contractor, but he lost his son, right? He lost his son, was in the group of these disappearing kids, and now you see how he struggles with it. He struggles with the fact that he doesn't feel like he was probably the best father when his son was around. His son was around and he was probably too hard on him. Didn't tell him that he loved him enough. Didn't show him or give him the love that a father should be giving his child. He deals with that throughout the whole film, and you could see how it just eats him alive. How he is desperately um, just trying to find his son so he could fill that void and give himself the opportunity to fulfill that need of wanting to tell my son I love him, wanting to hug him, wanting to do all these things with him. Because when he was here, I couldn't. Um, the guy from Doctor Strange who played Wong, he's great too. He's the principal, and you see him in the trailer. And if you've seen the trailer, you know that something awry is gonna revolve around this character. He's such a nice character too, very caring. He's a principal, better than fucking any principal I had, but very caring. You could tell that he wants to protect these kids and make sure that these kids aren't dealing with any kind of traumatic situations. But he's also, very stern with Julia, with Justine, excuse me, in the movie as well, in terms of like her boundaries, and she likes to push these boundaries a little bit when it comes to dealing with the children, and not in a bad way, right? She's a very caring character, but she does a lot of unprofessional things, and he is the mediator of all these things. He's the principal. He has to get in the way of it. So eventually, when what happens in the trailer happens, it's like, okay, this is more impactful, I believe, because this character was such a likable person. Um, but you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to predict what you see in the trailer, how that even happens, and then what happens afterwards. It's just this is a great fucking film. Everyone. There's a junkie character who I felt like they just got off the fucking street. They're like, yo, you want to be in a movie? We'll give you $20, bro. And that motherfucker, he he poured out the most authentic junkie performance that I've seen since probably like Breaking Bad or something like that. Um, great fucking cast. Even the little kid. There's the little kid. So one of the kids in the classroom not survives, but isn't he hasn't disappeared. He is still around. The other 17 disappeared, but he's not. He's still around, and he was great too. There's a portion with him in the movie that is just, oh my god, it was tugging at my heartstrings. I'm like, fucking me being a father of two boys, it's just like I can put myself in your shoes, and then I could also say that I don't want to be in your shoes, because this shit right here is just crazy what that character has to deal with, and the way the story is told, the structure of the story, is not chronological. It's not linear. It is told in fragments where you follow different characters, and you follow different stories, and they all weave together, or they all end up kind of interlinking and syncing up at a certain point. Um and I felt like that worked. That worked for me. That worked for me because it kept the mystery. It kept the felt like I was like a part of Mystery Inc. Like, you know, me and Scooby Doo were trying to solve a crime out here, or solve a mystery together. They were giving you breadcrumbs, and when you go to this other person's perspective, now you have to sit with this breadcrumb and say, okay, now how do we get to this breadcrumb from here? And then they give you that, and you get there, and like, okay, here's a new breadcrumb. All right, now we're with a new character. How do we get this breadcrumb from this guy, and or this person, or this woman? And it's just like, it was just good, bro. It was just good. There are some things. It's not a perfect film. I would feel like, uh, so the acting is spot on. The cinematography is great. The concept, the story, the eventual end is really great, and I feel like very rewarding. But what I don't like is I feel like the explanation, there's a lack of explanation with some things. There's some things that they also show you that in hindsight, when it's revealed in the movie, you're like, okay, what does that mean? And then it just never gets explained. There's certain things that are revealed to certain characters. Certain they see certain things, and it's just like, why? Why? What was the point of that? So there's certain things that go unexplained, and even the motivation as to why things are going on, like the reason as to why things are going on, is very much an implication. It's something that is implied, not given, force feed it to you and say, hey, this is why this is happening in this town, and this is why the kids are gone. It's something that you have to, based on the information that is given to you, have to piece together. I will say it's very logical, though. It is something that you can easily piece together if you're just paying attention. But for those people who like, you know, verbal explanation, there's not much of that here. Um, but when the reveal happens, and then you get to the climax of the film, you will be able to piece together why things are happening. I think so. I think me and my me and my boy me and my boys came to a collective agreement that, yeah, this is probably what's going on based on A, B, C, D. So but I have fun with it, man. I have fun with it. It's great. It's suspenseful. It is gripping. It is disturbing. It is creepy. It is funny in some points, which may be a point of contention for some people. Actually, they may feel that in these funny parts they're taken out of the film. I felt that way for one moment. I feel towards the very end, I felt like there was a section that maybe could have been played a little more seriously, but it was purposely played for laughs a little bit. But it may work for people, because I know there was a huge chunk of people in my theater that were laughing at said part. So that was the intention. It worked for them. I wasn't necessarily laughing, but I wasn't poo-pooing it either. I wasn't against it. I understood it. But I will say that, like I said, there is a reward at the end, and that reward is, that shit is crazy. It's like, these horror directors are fucking insane. Like, this year, Sinners, I wouldn't say is horror, but you could kind of classify it with it being about vampires and stuff like that. Bring Her Back, I failed to do a review on that. That movie fucking blew my mind as well. Another great horror movie. That's a 5 out of 5 for me as well. But that movie also had lack of explanation in certain elements that I wish were fleshed out, or at least given a little more understanding and meaning to us, the audience. There are a lot of things that are implied, and stuff the characters know, but we don't necessarily get the information for. And there's something similar to that in here. And I'll probably make a spoiler review to kind of discuss those things. Smash the like button and comment down below if you want me to talk about spoilers. Because I would love to discuss that with you guys as well. So let me know in the comments below if you want a spoiler review. But yeah, we can go a little bit in depth together, or I'll probably do like a live discussion or whatever. But yeah, so the story was great. There was some stuff that could have been fleshed out more, but I feel like all in all, the total package for me, this is the 4.5 5 movie right now. I don't know if I'm leaning 5 or 5. Excuse me, my nose is super itchy, so if you see me doing this, I don't smoke fucking cocaine or whatever like that. Um, my nose just gets itchy. But yeah, 4.5 or 5. One of those two it's got to be. Um, I'll lean. Fuck that, yeah. This is a 5. This is a 5 for me. This is a 5. A full recommendation. You go and see this in the movies. See it with a good crowd. Have fun with it. It's good to just finally go back to the movies and have a purpose to go back. You know what I mean? We're not just watching the next Marvel movie that is gonna be disappointing, and then okay, let's see where the story goes from there. Like, that was one thing I will give Fantastic Four. It is not just the next Marvel movie. It is its own isolated film that does not need to piggyback off of anything else. Now, it will eventually spearhead something else moving forward, but for that movie, it is an isolated film with its own story, and you don't need any kind of backstory on anything else. And in this film right here, it just feels like a good reason to go to the movies. You'll definitely enjoy it if you like suspense, if you like, fucking disturbing imagery, if you like just dark, twisted stories. This is the one for you, man. This is the one. I highly recommend Weapons. Go watch it in theaters and buy it on Blu-ray. Do whatever you want. But Weapons is a fantastic movie. If you've already seen Weapons, let me know in the comments below. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Don't try not to spoil it for people. I'm going to make a spoiler review for that where we can all talk about that in the comment section. But just let me know whether it worked for you or not in the comments down below. And you already know, as always, man, I love you. Jesus Christ loves you. God bless you all. Peace.